All right, guys. Well, welcome to a Sunday night little inspiration and some business training call. And just so many awesome teams, so many awesome things going on. I know that this week has been a very big week with the peach mango. Everybody loves the peach mango, seeing all the pictures. Some people having 10 canisters. And the thing is you just don't get tired of the peach mango. I personally, if you have not tried the peach mango along with a strawberry, so a scoop of peach mango and a scoop of strawberry, you are 1,000% missing out. Another thing that you definitely want to be trying is if you still have mocha shake left over, it is just like the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. If you do the mocha and just put a scoop of Isogenics coffee in it. So you don't cook the coffee, you just take the raw, the Isogenics coffee, and you put a scoop of it in that mocha. Oh my gosh. Kathy Stewart said, oh my gosh, that is awesome. I'm telling you guys, like, you'll never be the same. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I can't stop. So I'm like, where's the mocha? I was like, I'd order it again. I liked it. I was a fan, but you put that scoop of Isogenics coffee in there, that's a whole different level. Let me tell you, it's a whole different level of the mocha. So tonight we are going to just, I don't want to take any more time. I just want to bring on the people that are really going to bless us tonight with the Boom in June. So people who did 8 enrollments or more and have a free hotel room. Some of them also have done 10 enrollments, meeting with Jim and Kathy Coover. And then we have also Lori, who is an IsaBody Challenge honorable mention for this one. I know that you guys saw her picture, her before and after picture. It looks incredible. So Lori, I'd love to kind of start with you, if that's okay. And I just would love to ask you, so everybody's just going to give some tips. I'll ask some questions, any tips that come to people's heart. How did they do 8, 10 or more enrollments in 30 days? How did they do that and take advantage of that promotion? And then Lori too, I'd love for you to just maybe talk a little bit too, like how have you used the IsaBody Challenge for your enrollments? And you are unmuted. You look amazing. You're so inspirational. Share with us just kind of how are you using IsaBody for your enrollments, and what are some tips that you did to get those 10 enrollments in the Boom in June?
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it was a huge, still like shock level, huge. I saw the phone come up and it was Arizona, and I was like, and she goes, this is Caitlin Dowse with Isogenics IsaBody, and I just started bawling. Like, it's such an honor. It's freaking amazing. Well, I mean, that's been on my vision board since day one, that I wanted to win the 2017 IsaBody. And I mean, it's a tough competition. We all know. Look at the people's before and afters. They're just amazing. Like, we've got such great before and afters, and Albie's been such an inspiration and everything. But I've always, I kicked myself from when I started the program and then didn't do it. And I actually probably should be on like my 5th or 6th challenge by now. And, I missed out those first couple. So, I just ask all my people right off, like, get in the IsaBody Challenge. It's going to give you that motivation. You get in the IsaBody official Facebook group, just such motivation in there. And just give it your all, It's like, you just don't know. Like, I mean, honestly, we all want to win IsaBody, but when you just don't know. So 2018 is going to be my year. I'm going to win 2018, but I'll take honorable mention right now. I'm just completely shocked. But yeah, it's been a crazy roller coaster. And we have a lot of people on our team, that are in that top, whatever we've had, how many, 30, 45 people out of the past year. We have a lot of our Team Express team in there. And so it's just been crazy, but just an honor. So for everybody, I just recommend that if you're not an IsaBody, I
had to pull it up. Had to rock you out.
It's okay. No, it's okay. It's so funny because everybody hates to take those beginning pictures, and just when you look at yourself and you're like, I didn't know I looked like that. I'm like, oh my God, my house was huge. I looked 14 months pregnant with an elephant, and at the time I was like, I look that bad. That's why now I just die. And it's funny, these pictures that we took this day literally were like a 5-minute thing. We ran into the gym, we took them in front of the thing, we ran out, I think we were heading to the beach or something, and I was like, these are good enough. and they actually ended up coming out really good. So I give Ernie credit for the picture, but you know, you definitely want to have those before pictures and take your pictures as you're going along. So when you get frustrated and feel like you're not maybe losing weight, because my weight has honestly stayed the same since November of last year, but my body's continued to change. So when you get frustrated thinking I'm not losing weight, you know, you compare those pictures and you can definitely see where the changes are coming from. So that's a big thing. And doing measurements. I hate the scale. The only time I really get on the scale is when I have to submit it for the IsoBody. So, you know, along with that, oh, go ahead. You can ask something.
No, I was going to say, like, how important, how have you seen, and obviously, you know, even for people maybe who don't have a weight loss story or whatnot, like, you've been very active in the IsoBody challenge. And often that's one of the biggest things that I hear people say that they regret is not doing the IsoBody challenge. You know, it's free food. How have you used that to just play into your enrollments when you talk to people about it or you share? You know, I mean, you've been consistent in it, getting the $200. Like, what is it? How do you use that to have all those enrollments that you have?
Well, I mean, I tell people right from the beginning, like when I use IsoTools to go. So I have a little presentation of videos. It's Kathy Coover's welcome email, how to do a cleanse day, how to do a shake day, and how to enter the IsoBody challenge. So immediately they get that. The day they sign up, I'm like, while you're waiting for your box, I want you to get your measurements, your weight, your pictures, and get enrolled right now in the IsoBody challenge. And of course, we've been going back through with the championship, you know, like trying to make sure that people are enrolled and everything. Because I'm like, you're just leaving money on the table. 1-2 months down the road, and you're like, oh, I love the program. Well, you could have already been halfway to your $200 free coupon, and you've got nothing to lose. Like, you know, people worry, I don't want to submit the pictures. I don't want anyone to see them. I don't want them all over Facebook. And it's like, no, nobody sees them, you know, really but you. And then when it comes down to judging time. So, and believe me, I'm sure IsoBody has seen everything and more. You know, people standing there in your bra and underwear. I'm like, don't do that. Because if they put your beginning picture up and you're standing there in your bra and underwear, that's what's going in the book. So, you know, just put on a you know, a sports bra and a pair of shorts or whatever you're comfortable in and just do it. And, you know, so now with, you know, the championship, like I said, and now we're using that we're doing our own little challenge in August to get people, you know, like, come on, you know, and part of that is getting them back on a 30-day system. They've got to be enrolled in IsoBody to get into our thing. So, you know, it's just going back through the list. Are you in? Is all of my people that have enrolled people are your people in IsoBody? So it's just such a huge, I mean, it's really, to me, like that IsoBody embraces everything that isogenics is about. It's just always been a big part of my heart. I've always talked about it when I've had a chance to speak, how much I just love IsoBody. So again, it's just a huge thing.
We love you, and you're inspirational, and keep sharing the goodness, girl. And that is a big clue for everybody to 1,000% get in the IsoBody challenge so that you can share that story too in those massive enrollments that Lori has been experiencing. And our next tipper is going to be Mr. Joe Boggs. I don't know if the other half is on the line. Let's see, Shanna. I don't see Shanna. With you.
She's on, but our daughter's not feeling too good, so she can't talk.
So yeah, Joe, I mean, you guys had like 9 enrollments the week before last in 1 week, not to mention you did the 10 boom in June and then just and 9 enrollments in 1 week. I mean, what's the secret? What are you doing? Give us a tip. Give us 1 or 2 tips.
Well, I mean, I kind of have to go back to a little bit further back, and I want people to know that are just starting out that it's not just magic that happens. You know, first of all, and this sounds cliche, but this is so true. We made a decision a long time ago, and that's it. We made a decision that this was it. This is what we were doing, and we were committed to doing this and making this the best thing that it possibly could be in our lives. The second thing is, and I know that as a couple, it makes it easier, but you have to have an accountability partner. You have to have somebody that's holding you accountable daily. And it doesn't have to be a spouse, but I truly believe that you deserve to find somebody, if it's not your sponsor, if somebody on your team, somebody else in Isogenics, somebody that holds you to the fire of what needs to be done. And then the biggest thing I think for Shannon and I is that we have the list, we prospect every day, and we don't forget to follow up. We follow up constantly. We are very persistent with people. We do not give up unless they block us. They're getting a message from us every other week, every month, whatever it is, we're going down that list. And so when we have, a big promotion week, something along the line, we have a huge list to reach out to, and we just don't stop. And so it's just persistence.
We had a question that said, what's the script for your list? And maybe just too, Joe, maybe if you want to share just about Life with No Box training. I know that is an epic training. I know Wendy's done some training with it with you, and I've received so much value from it. And I know that other people have. Do you just want to kind of touch a little bit on that for people? Because I know you talk about your scripts in that training.
Sure. To go with the script, Steve, I would say there are quote unquote scripts that we do, but it's about trying to be as real as you possibly can with somebody. And so we make a connection with people. Don't think that Shannon and I, neither one of us reach out to people on a first contact and mention anything about Isogenics, mention anything about joining a team or buying a product or anything like that. It's a consistent process. And we realize that we have to create those relationships. And, like for me, I didn't have a ton of warm market to tap into. I created a warm market, and Shannon's the same way. We're constantly building that. And so when we're reaching out to people, it's the first, and this is all in Life with No Box, and we'll talk about that. But, when we connect with somebody, when we friend somebody, we immediately send them a message just saying something along the lines of, I appreciate you accepted my friend request. I met some great people on here. I look forward to getting to know you. And I will point blank ask, so what do you do? And there's nothing wrong with that. If you met somebody out in public, you would ask, hey, what do you do? And so as long as you know what's going to happen after that and what you're going to say if they say, well, what do you do? That's important. And we just did a training on that in the Life with No Box. So it's important to understand the process and moving through the process. And this is where we go into the training of moving through that process and the words to use to move that through the process. It's not a magic thing. Anybody can learn it, but it's about so much more than just a script. There are beliefs that you have to build. And, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but with celebration coming up, these are the type of things that are a must in your business. If you don't have a belief in your business, I don't care what script you use, it won't matter. It's just not going to matter. But the Life with No Box training came about in that.
I'll link that too when I post it, you guys. I'll link Joe's Life with No Box training if anybody wants to get in on his training. I'll put that link up when I put this recording. Sorry, go ahead. Hello?
Yeah, I've got a bad connection.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Well, I'll link Joe's training. Joe, that was epic. Thank you. Any last tip? If you got any service?
Yeah, I've got service. Read GoPro. That's
There's the tip. Read GoPro. Love it. All right. Well, I will. You guys, and Joe does hours of training. I'm telling you, like him and Shannon, there's just hours of it. So I'll put that link. But if you guys aren't jumping on Joe's training, you're really missing out. You're really, really, really missing out. So epic, Joe. And Joe and Shannon are not these like outgoing, I would use like almost more introverted instead of extroverted. I know sometimes I hear people say, well, I'm kind of introverted. I'm like, man, some of the most successful people I know are introverts. You don't have to be this extrovert. So you guys have just grown so much. So awesome to watch behind and see where people are, in a year, 2, 3 years that really make that decision. I love what you said, Joe, making that decision. So next, we are going to get tips from the man who had to get a lot hotter because his wife's so hot. So we have Mr. Jordan and Courtney Dickerson who are going to share with us. And I know you guys have seen, I don't know if you guys have seen Jordan's transformation. It's absolutely ridiculous. You are looking awesome, my friend. What are some tips that you guys have for people shooting for enrollments? You guys are extremely consistent enrollers.
I'll let Courtney go first because she says that I just shoot from the hip. But
so a lot of what Joe said, like the follow up, and I've been expanding my network a ton lately, and just reaching out to people which is something I don't normally do. And just kind of, sometimes they'll ask, what do I do? And I'll tell them. But sometimes we'll just talk. I mean, there was a couple people who I've been talking to for, I don't know, like a couple weeks. So just building relationships. And then a lot of it is from follow-up, just tons and tons of follow-up. Not too much to bug them, but just following up with anybody that's interested, even people that like the posts and stuff. I used to just kind of let those go, but I've been following up with people, just either saying thanks for the support or were you interested? Follow-up's been huge for me.
Love it. I'd call that a clue, guys. We've heard follow-up like numerous times now. So it's definitely one of my, and I do believe that Life with No Box training this tomorrow, Joe, is on follow-up, correct? Hold on. Or is that a correct statement?
It's on the actual connection with the follow-up.
Connection
Yeah.
to the follow-up.
So kind of what to say.
Okay, awesome.
And
All right, Mr. Jordan.
from my end, I mean, there's multiple things, but the things that are important for me was, and I always think of this, and it was to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, because when I posted my first picture online of myself standing in my underwear, I caught a lot of guff for it, but that's just me, and I wanted to put myself out there. And another word I like to use is accountability. And I put that out there because I wanted the people to know that I was committed to this. And so they watched me. They watched me go from the fat guy standing there in his underpants with high cholesterol and a high A1C, diabetic A1C, to, a size 40 pant, to the guy that sits here today, a size, 32 and a half pant that's lost over 60 pounds, and, my cholesterol is with normal limits. My A1C is completely normal. I don't night sweat anymore. I don't snore anymore.
Diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent anything. Results may vary. Keep going.
Yeah, so for me, the results were huge, but in a lot of people that come in and they say, well, I don't have the transformation you had, or I couldn't, the way my body is, I can't have the transformation you had. And for those people, I say, then you leverage me. You leverage me, you leverage Casey, you leverage whoever your upline is, you leverage complete strangers that are on your team so far above or below you that have had a transformation. You use those on those transformation days and use them as leverage, use their transformation or their story. The follow-up is another big one. I was also almost in fear of follow-up in the beginning because I felt like I was bothering people. But then I started to see over time, there's people that are enrolling with me recently that have been following me for 9 months. Ron, who's on this call right now, followed me for 6 or 7, and he straight up called me and said, whatever the juice, he called me and my phone number was still saved this number was still saved in my phone from 15 years ago. And I answered the phone, what up, Ron? And he was like blown away that I still had his number in my phone. And the first thing he said to me was, whatever that sauce is on that you're on, I want in. And he brought up the underwear pic. He's like, at first I wanted to comment and like talk some trash, but he's like, I know you. And he's like, you were dedicated to something, and you didn't put that out there for no reason. And so he watched me for 7 months and then he jumped on board. Another thing is pick somebody, the 5 people you surround yourself with, you're the sum of those people. If you're still hanging around tons of people with the majority of your time that have no desire to be successful, it doesn't matter if they're family or they've been your best friends for 20 years. I've got people that they're still my friends, but they don't take up the 90% of my time anymore. The Casey Pluffs and the Amanda Bresnaws and the Elvie Shepherds and the Jeff Beebes and the Joe and Shayna Boggses. Like, I follow Joe and I watch Joe's stuff online and I've taken stuff Joe's given me, and I've never even personally met the guy, but I've taken tidbits that him and his wife do, that Shayna talked to me about at an event that I met her at, because they're power enrollers, and if that's what you want to be, you got to be able to put yourself out there, so that's where it goes back to the getting comfortable being uncomfortable, but you also got to take tidbits from things that other people do, and, I watched Elvie and I got to meet Elvie and talk to Elvie and we were related. And I'm like, man, this guy's not that much different than me. Neither is his story. And then I watched him for a month online and this guy was just going live and just putting his heart out there. And he always would take something from his life that he picked up from either in a workout or a conversation, and he related it to his life and he shared it. And he didn't care what kind of crap he got online because he was sharing it in hopes to just add value to someone's life. Even if it was one person for that day, if he could add value to them and connect that one person out of 100 that see it over the next week or month. And what I found with me going live consistently like that is that complete strangers are now reaching out to me. You know, there's this guy who's a pastor in Detroit right now who I had an hour call with earlier today, and he wants to come on board. And when I called him and asked him where he found me, he said that my post was viral on his page. We have 0 connections, 0 mutual friends. And this guy is a 40-something-year-old African-American pastor with a completely different background. And he called me, and when I asked him, he said, bro, I watched you and you inspired me. I want to do what you're doing. You know, so it was, to me, if I never would have watched the Joes and the Caseys and the Elvies and you know, the Jeff and Debbie Beebes and sat in on these Zoom calls, you know, that's another thing. You've got to get plugged in with these resources. It's an hour of your day on a Sunday. If you don't make it, watch the recorded version, because every single one of these you sit on, you're going to get value from. These people aren't on these calls for no reason. Are we kicked off?
You're not kicked off.
We just lost you guys. I lost the video, but I mean,
lives. We love the value. You guys are always showing up. It's been so fun just to watch you go. And I love what you said too. It's not about having, you know, this epic transformation, guys. You can leverage other people's transformations. I mean, Courtney, you know, she didn't have an ounce to lose. You know, I mean, you looked amazing, but you're a busy mom of, you know, little Jordan. So you're extremely busy, and, you know, working. And so just to get that nutrition. So it's all about, you know, and learning that 30-second story too, guys, and learning like your story and just how valuable it is. And it doesn't have to be this amazing, insane visual transformation, right? Some of the most successful people that I know personally did not even have a physical transformation. So I love that point, Jordan, and the sum of the 5, that's massive takeaway. I love you guys. You guys are rock stars.
I just want to say too, leverage your spouse. Like having 2 networks, like even if your spouse isn't in Isogenics, you know, you have to tap into their network. You know, because they're like and for the June and Boom, what this call is about, I think we had 0 enrollments 2 weeks in. And I told everybody the whole month, as soon as they announced it, I said, we're going to Vegas for free. I put it out there every day, and I affirmed it, the affirmations, I said it. I told everybody I talked to, I told the team, I told Courtney, and we had no enrollments 2 to 2.5 weeks into June. And then we just crushed it. And it was Courtney's momentum because we used her network. So then people started coming in from her network. And then I closed it hard with my network. You know, but it was the affirmations too. You have to believe.
Yeah, if we aren't doing affirmations, we got stuff. And you know, and me and my husband, we don't build together. You guys, and I know Joe and Shanna build completely different. I know, you know, Jordan and Courtney, you guys, you know, aren't like this building, but you guys definitely support and build. And everybody kind of has their own ways. But I definitely tapped into my husband network and his friends and all that. I mean, look on Facebook, who's liking his stuff, reaching out, friend them. I've definitely had a lot of enrollments just from kind of stalking his page and liking, commenting, because it's a mutual friend. Like, who's not going to friend, you know, your spouse's friend, right? So that's a great tip too, Jordan. Boyfriends, about anybody, just get in those networks. You guys rock. Okay, next we're going to have the beautiful Montana. Here you are, girl. You look so good too. I saw your photo. Hot dog. You've always just looked amazing though, but now just an extra ice of glow. So what are some tips for you? I mean, you're young, you're nursing, you're working night shifts sometimes and all over the place and with schedule and whatnot. Like, how did you find the time between flip-flopping shifts and working 12-hour days that turn into 14-hour days to get 10 enrollments? Where'd you find the time? How'd you do it?
Well, first off, I just want to thank Jordan, Amanda, Lindsay, Casey, you, Sarah. You guys really pushed me. You guys have been the best team, best people to just have my back through this all. I didn't even know I was going to want to even build. And then I just realized, looked in the mirror, I said, this shit works.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, now it's time. And I sat down with my dad one day and I was like, I need to get my bills paid for. And then next thing you know, I went to Jordan and Courtney's house and we just got talking and Zoomed with you and, met up with Amanda and Lindsay, and it's just been a huge ride ever since. But definitely tapping into my work first, just always making sure my Isogenics bottle is kind of visible, talking about when I'm cleansing or, oh my gosh, this shake tastes so great. Just making Isogenics visible instead of bringing it up in the conversation as much as at first. So then, a lot of my coworkers, because they're in the same boat as me, they're tired. They are getting overweight. They're exhausted. They just want to be a new person. So when they saw my energy and my level, they're like, okay, what are you doing? So probably all of my first of my 15 enrollments through this whole thing have been work. And then, listening to your advice for a GoPro, I did the audible version driving back to work and home, just listening to that. And I came up with my own script and just kind of had the courage to literally just go down through my Facebook page and just send the same script. I know we shouldn't really be copy and pasting once in a while, but I don't know, it just kind of worked for me. So some people said no, that's okay. And I said, okay, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. If you change your mind, I'm always here. And then some people are like, okay, what are you doing? And it just, following up, making that connection, trying to learn why they want to join this possibly. And I believe it was Amanda or Lindsay just always saying write down your notes. Why do they want to get into this? Reiterate them. If they're kind of on the fence, should I join this or not? Bring it back to them. Well, didn't you say you kind of want to lose 10 pounds, or don't you have a wedding you want to look great for down the road? So yeah.
I love that tip. That is, you guys, that is sound advice right there. Getting to the why, right? Everything is emotional. As you go on and as you become more of a student, just in anything in all sales, people buy for emotional reasons. Their why is their emotional reasons. Getting to that, that is such sound for us all. And then bringing it back, bringing it out. Oh, I'm so excited for you to have more energy to, get up off the couch and play with your kids when you get home and not be a walking zombie, or just to feel sexy again for your husband. Bring that why back in. That's been a big player for me too, Montana. That's sound advice. And I love using the products in public. Use the products in public. It will start a conversation. The cleanse days, everything, getting around people. That will start the conversation effortlessly for you. So I love those takeaways. You are a little rock star. Little rock star. All right. Who I gotta flip. Where's more of who do I see? Oh, the beautiful Melanie. Melanie Pepper. We did a Zoom earlier in the car together.
I know.
Yeah, here we are again. So Melanie, share with us too, maybe talk about maybe juggling a little bit. I mean, you have, kids young and a husband. You guys work opposite schedules, so at home a lot by yourself working. I mean, I know that also, how do you, what are some tips, maybe where do you find the time as a mom, opposite schedule of husband, home with the kids, working, and then fitting Isagenix? And what are some tips of building on how, you were able to enroll so many in June with all that?
Well, I think a big thing is time blocking, because my time is limited. I try to schedule that, obviously, and use my time wisely. If I find that I'm on Facebook, before I would just mindlessly be going through my newsfeed and liking people's stuff and blah, blah, blah. But now I'm working. Okay. And there's my husband.
And then you're dealing with that. We love Andy.
and
Hey,
ignoring
guess what Isagenix does for me?
and ignoring my husband. So yeah, just time blocking and really using my time and not getting entrapped in my news feed is important. And I'm up late. I am up really late. In fact, I have a lot of people that, Kelly, that you were talking today, she said to her sister Katie, she's like, oh, she'll be up at 2 a.m. Don't worry about it, And if that's the time I have, then that's the time I have, and that's what I use. So I do it in the pockets of my time, and I make it a priority. It's important to me. It's important to me to bless the lives of other people, but it's also really important for me to bless my family's lives. They're my why. And so it's a big priority, and it's not easy. There's a lot of sacrifice, obviously, when you've got that much going on, but you just have to figure out what's important in life, and you just have to go after it.
I love that time blocking, and and how many times, and I catch myself too. I know what Susan Sly has said too. As far as when you get on Facebook, set timers, because it's you can find yourself going down that black hole, Facebook scrolling and liking. To where you're taking away from that intentional finding likes and comments to connect with people, it turns into this, and then, oh, this cute thing, or oh, this video, or, you know, next thing you know, hour later, you're on Facebook. And so that is a definitely golden nugget for everybody. And sacrifice, you know, staying up. If that's just the time that you can get it in, that's the time that you can get it in. And, you know, and I was talking to some people earlier just about the sacrifices that I made in the beginning with my time, or even seeing my husband as much, or, you know, all those things, because your family is your why, but that payoff that's going to come, you know, we were willing to sacrifice our time and resources to go get a college degree. Why wouldn't we be willing to sacrifice our time and energy now to create a financial wall of a legacy income for our families? So you're a rock star. Thank you so much for those shares, Melanie. We will go to your beautiful sister next, and her hunky hubby, Mr. Glenn. Awesome share, Melanie. Thank you. A lot of value. Melina and Glenn, what's up?
Hey guys,
Hello.
what's up?
What's up?
All right, so the one thing that really helped me enroll the amount of people that I personally did, obviously we're working together as a team, is getting those conversations. You know, I went through my 600 plus friends when we first started and verbal vomited on all of them, but I was not afraid to follow back up with people. I created relationships with people, a few people I knew in college that, you know, just knew of them. The one is an avid runner. She's in ultra marathons, but every few weeks I'm just like, hey, how's everything going? When's your next race? You know, find out what people are doing, so then you can communicate with them and build a relationship with them. Not always just, hey, do you want to start now? Hey, is Isogenics a great time to start now? Like, let's do it now. We're doing this promotion. Building those relationships, seeing what their kids, their significant others are up to, that really helps. And then, of course, with those conversations and going live and making posts each and every day, multiple times a day, to beat those Facebook algorithms, people are going to come into your life that you maybe didn't even reach. I just had a person from our church start this past week, and she came to me because of the posts I was making and how inspirational they were to her. She just got back from a doctor's appointment that didn't go so well for her. And she's like, I need to change my life. You're inspiring me. What do you got? And, you know, told her about it. She's like, all right, that's good. Let's do it. And here she is starting. So build the relationships, make the connections, and continue reaching out to people. You know, we were walking around in Aldi today and I saw somebody grab all the Fit and Active shakes. And I was like, well, that's not good. Like, let's come and talk. You know, said, hey, here's my business card. You know, I see that you're trying to get fit and active, but that's the product that's not going to be the benefit for you. Why don't you time to talk? And sure enough, we did. You know,
Love
so
it.
you can make those conversations. And I love the Isogenics product anywhere you go. That's totally beneficial as well.
Yes.
And you were aware of that surrounding where you saw somebody buying a protein shake. I mean, you guys, like, so many times where they say, how many times are things right in front of us? You know, we're like, I don't have any people to talk to, or I can't find people. Where do you find people? Look around. There's people everywhere. And if we keep our eyes open for opportunities like that, you know, we've heard the word relationship. That's been something that everybody's saying. So definitely, it's been so fun to watch you rock it, Glenn.
Thank you. Tidbits too.
Yeah, I would have shared too. But you know, we make sure that it's 100% about the person that we're talking to. So when we connect, it's all about them. You know, when we make that initial connection and we're like, how's life? You know, we've gone to their Facebook page. We've seen what's going on in their life. We make our conversations personal, and everything is about them. And that's huge, you know, because that engages people when you're talking with them, you know. And so then when it's time to, and we have a very short script that we follow. It's very short, you know, when it comes down to, you know, Casey, it's very similar to the one that you've shared. You know, in the beginning, I was sending novels. I mean, Casey, you can do it.
She sent me a message when she's like, hey, can you check this out? This is what I'm sending to people. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even read it. Like, hold on, we gotta fix that.
So Casey sent me like 2 lines back, and I was like, well, dang it. But, you know, it's all good. So, you know, when it comes time to, you know, talk to them about Isogenics, you know, it's very short, it's very sweet. You know, nutritional cleansing is changing my life. Is this a good time for you to learn more? Is this something that you're interested in? And, you know, sometimes it's a yes and sometimes it's a no, but a no doesn't mean I'm not going to talk to you again. You know, I'm going to keep that relationship, you know, but if it's a yes, then, you know, we're very systematic on what we do. We're very systematic. We're like, all right, great. We're going to get you in a page. We love this supportive group. We're going to send you a video and let me know what you think. And then we get on the phone. We don't mess around with going back and forth, you know, via messenger. We are phone people. We love to talk on the phone, and we are super big about getting our people on three-way calls with us. We want to talk, you know, and then we make that conversation all about the person. You know, we ask them, you know, what are your goals? You know, and Terry, you know, when we went to the retreat, you guys, Terry, is it Dickerson?
Yep.
Dickerson? She shared an amazing script, and we've kind of transformed it and made it our own. And, you know, we asked them, you know, how different would your life be if you met your goals? And, you know, when people have to answer that question, they're sold. It's done. They're like, okay, you know, I need this. I want this, you know. And the last question we ask is, how serious are you about changing your life on a scale of 1 to 10? You know, how serious are you? And, you know, and if they're not a 9 or a 10, guys, we say you're not ready to do this, you know. And, you know, people appreciate that, but I would say everybody that we talk to is 8, 9, or 10 because they're ready to do it, you know. And once you have that conversation, you know, I would say that our pricing objections that we get are very, very little, you know, very little. We get them here and there, but, you know. And then value, and I need to talk about belief for a second, you guys. I'm on this huge belief track right now, and I am worthy, you are worthy, we are worthy, and what we have to offer is the best product on the market. And when you go into a conversation believing that and knowing that, they hear that, they can feel it through the phone. Your vibration is so high. I'm a red, so I'm always high. Everybody's feeling red. It's like, whew, they can feel my flames pretty much. But, you know, the belief that we have in ourselves, the belief that we have in this company, the belief that we have in this product just emanates off of us, and people feel it, and they want it. They want to be a part of it. And so, you know, if your belief just isn't there yet, you got to get it there, you know, and your belief in yourself. And that's what Jordan was saying with the affirmations, and I do that too, you know. But, you know, we help each other. We got each other's backs, you know. We might be a little too hard on each other, but, you know, having that accountability partner too is just, you know, it's huge. But, you know, 100% about them, and get your belief to 100, and, you know, it's going to happen for sure. So, yeah.
You guys, I love that. All about them. I remember when I started Isogenics, right? And I think that everybody goes through this. I needed to get people. I needed to get enrollments. I needed to get consultants because I needed to get to executive. get, right? And when it switched to all about them, I love that language, all about them, it really changes everything. It really, really changed so much for me. So that's massive tip. And you guys, we could talk till we're blue in the face on belief, blue in the face. But if we believe, people believe, right? When we believe, it's so easy, that conviction. And those of us who are in Rod's training right now about the working with people based on kind of their intrinsic needs and their focus and really their motivation, it really is. You know, I love what he says. Don't, you know, the golden rule, do unto others as, you know, you would have done unto you, but them, like, it's all about them. Do unto others as they would have you to them, all about other people. And when we're listening for that, it's so easy to match the solution. So you guys are rocking it. Hold on, she has something else.
Sorry, I'm sorry. One thing that you and Amanda and Stephanie and Lindsay and, you know, watching Jordan and just, you know, everybody through this, we have learned, and we are firm believers that this is a journey and there is no destination. Mm-hmm. We will never get there. We will always continue going. And, you know, we're so blessed and grateful for this team, because there's no way that we could have done this without you. So, you know, and that's another thing, is we lean on people. You know, in the beginning, we didn't lean on anybody. And we suffered. It was hard and it was a struggle, but we lean on everybody. So thanks, guys.
Love it. I love the lean on people. It was like strangling her to get people on a phone call. So, but now it is not. So, all right, we have Miss LaDonna sitting there. LaDonna, share with us. There's another nurse, another night shifter with a little one, and I know Randall and you guys are building together. Randall's on here too. I'll unmute you too, Randall, so you guys can piggyback. He's traveling right now, so yeah, give us some tips, guys, as people who are new and coming in and just really rocking it. What are some things that you're doing?
Okay, I'll go first. So I did a lot of things. Number one, I first made a list. My goal wasn't to get 10. I just wanted to get 8 and get the free hotel room. So I made a list of 8 people, put a little box next to their name, sent a picture to Casey and said, these are my 8. I'm getting this hotel. I put it out there. And then my husband said, no, we're getting 10. I think we ended up getting 11 instead. But Jordan down in Columbia said, always carry something with you. I think that's what I picked up from Jordan. So I just started carrying something, little cleanse bottle, shaker bottle, whatever it was. My husband did the same, went to the gym, always had his little isogenic shaker. So we did that. I did my vision board. I read the 4-year career. My husband read like 20 books. Well, it took me to read one. But that really motivated me to get going. I leaned on everybody. I think Chris did a call with me and I got one with her. I think she did all the work. All I did was get the person on the phone. I know Casey did one. I just leaned on whoever was available. That's who I leaned on. Jeff Beebe did a call with me, just everybody. So we don't have a system. I'm working on it. I know Joe and Shanna, I've reached out to them and Shanna kind of walked me through her system. And so just this week, I really started implementing some of that, just trying to have a system since we're really new. We're only about 115 days in as selling. So we're just trying to figure it out.
I love what you said though. Vision boards, you're reading, right? You've done all that. You're doing 3-way calls. I think when you were saying Shanna and Joe, you said show. That's gonna be my new name for Joe and Shanna is gonna be show. Let's get the shows on the phone. They are a show. I like that. And I remember you guys when LaDonna, she just started, I don't know, what was it, like a week, 2 weeks or something? And it was like, you have to come to this event. It's in Columbia. You were like, man, I can't, it just wasn't timing right. But you guys went to that first event and that's just massive, you guys. And I know that's why you guys have just been up and running so quickly. But talk about coachable, everything. You're like, read this book, it's done. So reading, that's a massive tip. You guys are rocking. What do you want to add to that, Randall? I mean, as somebody who's super busy, I was sharing about you the other day and I was like, just his work ethic and just somebody, for special forces. And just you guys, just your mindset training and all the books and stuff that you've already read and just your leadership qualities and just everything. Like, what are some tips that you would use to, for all these enrollments or maybe even some of what you're bringing from just the mindset training that you have, maybe even over in Isogenics?
I think probably the biggest thing that, everybody has kind of really, there's a wealth of resources out in this group. And that is, for me, that's been the biggest asset. It's like anything from, Casey, when you brought us on board and giving us, teaching me how to do the 3-way calls. Hey, you got to do this. I think one of the best things that has helped us along is just to be flexible. With everything that's going on, never say no. When there's a training event coming on or somebody says, hey, we're going to do this. We always make an effort to, hey, how can we fit that in? Because between Joe and Shanna, between everybody that we've talked to, Jeff, Chris, I learned something from every single person that I've talked to that has anything to do with Isogenics. And I think the only thing that I bring from a military perspective is just the drive. I kind of already have, I'm very disciplined in my life, so I try to transfer that over somehow. So when it talks to, follow-ups, we've been hitting follow-ups. We've been really trying to, at first it was all about let's enroll. And now it's more along the lines of, okay, You can't just enroll and forget people. We've got to follow up. And I think that's been, honestly, I think that the 10 people at once was a little bit of just awesome timing for us because we had been following up with people already. And then just the drive, Donna's like, hey, we got 8 people. And at first I was like, well, what does that mean? I wasn't even paying attention to the promotion. And then she's like, oh, we got 8 people. We're gonna get to go and do this. And I was like, well, what does this say? 10? She's like, oh, 10. I'm like, no. We're not stopping at 8. I'm like, no. I'm like, if everybody's doing 10, we're doing 10. So, I just can't speak enough to the group. The group has been awesome. The resources are awesome. I'm learning something every day. And I'm just trying to build on it. And it's just been great.
I love it. And I mean, you guys are super busy, and that's the thing, guys, like it really is. It's just that pockets of those days, but it's like, you just find the time, like, how can I fit it in? Like, that's what I've loved. I heard that from somebody. If you can't find a way, you make a way, right? Like you can always make a way for the things that are important, kind of just back picking on you again, Melanie, when you were just like sacrifice, but can't wait to see you guys in Vegas. You guys are rocking. And then let's see, I'm looking for my next girl. All right, here's Ray. And then awesome, LaDonna and Randall. Thank you so much for those shares. All right, Ray.
Hey, can you hear me? I'm driving. I had to go take Troy. Anyway, then I got to go Sydney. So, I think for me, the very first found out about the boom in June, I immediately took a sticky note and I put it on my vision board and I put it on there, live where you fear to live. It was a quote I heard from Peter Kelly in a podcast that I was listening to. And so then I decided that every time I got an enrollment, I would mark my little notch off the thing. So what happened with me is I ended up going to Top Achievers with Casey, and I gained a lot of confidence from that, just from talking to the other people there, like the confidence in our system and the confidence that I needed to be able to like stop for a minute and just not just send a video, like the confidence to say, no, you need to talk. I need to get your phone number before I'll send you a video. I think that was very much key for me because I was just sending video before. Everyone would ask, I'd say, oh, well, can I send you a video? Can I add you to our page? And then the next thing you know, it was crickets. So what I started doing is having the confidence to say, okay, you know what? I need your phone number. And after that, would you be open, to watching a video? And going from there rather than shooting off videos and hoping that people are going to talk to me after. Another thing that I learned big time when I was with Casey was utilizing 3-way calls. And I've been doing that way more consistently. Like if there's people available to talk with somebody, Casey said to me, look at Raylene, look around you. We were at Top Achievers. She look around you. All these people are using 3-way calls. These are the most successful people in this business. So if you're going to pick up anything, like pick up that. So that really resonated with me. And I think that's been a large part of my success since the boom in June. I think that just reaching out and utilizing people, because Casey, even before we left, she's like, why do you not have me on the phone? And I was like, I don't know. And I was just like, and she's like, you would need to have me on the phone. And I think having, because I'm up here in Canada all by myself, and I feel like when Casey came here and it was invaluable to spend that time with her. And I think that has really helped me as well. Just having that connection and of course, Joe and Shanna have been awesome to work with. I always lean on them, and they always take the time to get with me on the phone or chat back and forth. So it's everything's just reaching out, leaning on people, and that's what's really helped me, I think, really, and it's going to continue to help me propel my business.
I call that a clue. And like Jeff and Debbie Beebe right now, we've heard a lot of their names, and you guys know them. We're definitely very closely Isogenics cousins. And you know, when you think about, they're right now the number one millionaires in action, and they're constantly doing three-way calls, connecting people, connecting people, connecting people. You know, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's that third party edification. If you guys haven't seen the edification call that Lenny and Dave do, you haven't heard Hillary Courtney do that call beautifully on the three-way call, I'm going to link both of those. You're really missing out. And even like on welcome calls, celebration calls, like planting the business seed, like there's just so many chances to get other people on the calls. And it doesn't have to be somebody in your upline. It can be downline, crossline. So just really, you know, when everybody's been talking about leaning, find people to lean with, like that's why events are so important too. And that's one of my favorite parts about the events is to get really connected, start exchanging contact information, exchanging stories with people, because those are going to be people that you do calls with. I do so many calls with people that I'm not even financially connected to, because their story is going to be more resonating for somebody that I'm getting on the phone, and you're teaching duplication already. So awesome, Raylene, you and Troy, and we have now our amazing Jen Figueroa, who has come in blazing a trail. I know you have gotten me on the phone good times for some welcome calls, and I know that you're learning from the best with Joe and Shanna, and I'm sure Joe probably followed up and tapped you and touched you for a long time with Shanna before you said yes to Isogenics. So those followed up works, Joe and Shanna. Jen, what you doing, girl? What are your you're like a little fairy out there. You're one of my fairies that I watch.
Well, I'm not even sure June even happened. It like literally was the most awesome month. I connected with so many people. Obviously Joe and Shayna, they're amazing, and you are awesome. But I mean, just the whole sense of community and support, and you know, just everything, you know. I think, you know, a lot of it had to do with, you know, I've been in a transformation mode probably now for a good year and a half. And my transformation had a transformation. So I think, you know, the volume that I think I was putting out there, not just physically, but confidence wise, I think had a lot to do with it, because doing, you know, three-way calls with you guys, and as much knowledge as y'all have, and what an amazing resource y'all are, you know, y'all are like the confident ninjas, you know, so y'all were building me up when I had no idea what y'all were doing. So, I mean, being able to talk about it and really put that raw spin on, you know, what I've got going on, and, you know, really putting it out there. I mean, it's just been an amazing experience, and been able to connect and have that.
When you're saying connecting, like, what are you doing to connect? Like, how did you go? Like, I mean, when you decided to do June and Boom and like really up your enrollments, I mean, you just came in and you went on fire from where you weren't like doing
Well,
it.
it's crazy because I really wasn't even sure I was in the Boom for June at first, because I went to Joe and Shanna's house, and, you know, they kind of, you know, talked to me and, you know, kind of put it out there. And I'm thinking, you know, how in the world am I going to, you know, but it was, you know, just talking about it, you know, posting about it, you know, with the people that would like my comments or like my posts or anything like that, you know, sending them the private message, and, you know, really tapping on them, you know, constantly, you know, ever so often, you know, when I knew they were still eyeballing my post, but not really reaching out, because I know I was that one that had to be tapped for like a year and a half, maybe even more, I'm not sure. But, you know, just really reaching and, you know, putting myself out there, I guess, you know, posting pictures, which was kind of out of my element, but I did it. So, I mean, it's really pulled me out of that kind of, I'm not an introvert by no means, but I do have some things that I usually pop on reserve. But I mean, it's really pulled me out and made me kind of put my stuff out there. So that's helped.
Putting yourself out there. That's what it's like, putting yourself out there, you guys, like, that's what it is. Like, what does it mean to put yourself out there? Getting comfortable with uncomfortable. And, and I think we heard too, a couple times, people like eyeballing your stuff, but not necessarily reaching out. I mean, think about like what Glenn just said too, just the woman from church, like coming up to him, even if she maybe isn't like commenting on his stuff or like reaching out right then, like, watching. And so, you really think about that. Like, how many of us, like, are we putting ourselves out there? Are we putting a picture up? Are we in the middle of a transformation? And that word again too, confidence, and maybe we don't have the confidence enough, like for where we are right now, but you can lean on other people for confidence. You can get other people who are confident on the phone with you, right? Like they just exude because they know that they know that they know what they know about Isogenics, via it, whatever level it is, the community, the products, the compensation plan, like what you're bringing somebody into, Ice the Body Challenge, Healthy Mind and Body, like all these things that you're able to offer somebody when they join Isogenics. And what Melina said too about cost, like, rarely is she getting cost objection because of that confidence, knowing that value. It's just been so fun. I mean, you just came in, Jen, and you did it. I remember Joe said, he said, watch out for this one. He's like, when she gets it, she's going to get it. And thank God Joe didn't give up on you, that Joe, right?
Yeah, and it's just, I think his unapologetic passion is just awesome. Him and Shanna both. I mean, you two, I mean, everybody, just the whole community and everybody. I haven't met hardly any people, that don't have something of value to add, just for your well-being, just your overall well-being, whether you get the product, whether you don't, just your well-being.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awesome.
Well-being. Oh, it's a wellness company. That's what I always say. Yeah. We're not a weight loss company. We're a wellness company. So those were such great tips, you guys. Some of the takeaways, too, that I had though, that just kept coming up was relationship. The three-way call kept coming up. Follow-up kept coming up. Those were just three things, and belief, because belief, it all starts with belief, you guys. So whatever we have to do to get our belief up in the areas of the products, maybe it's do another 30-day system for ourselves, right? Maybe it's like talk to other people, learn more about other people's transformations, the industry, maybe it's reading the 4-year career, right? So I'm sure when LaDonna and Randall read that 4-year career book, it really changed probably their perspective on really network marketing as a whole and like what kind of opportunity it is, right? So in that industry, just the company of Isogenics, the comp plan, studying it, watching it, learning it, and the way that I know to get belief in yourself and confidence in yourself is to get into action and start doing it. It's not, you're not going to learn it and then do it later. You're going to learn as you do, and as you're in action, it's going to be your greatest learning. Now, granted, get a little bit of knowledge underneath you, right? As far as knowing how to do a 3-way call and like send a video and set an appointment, like, there's some knowledge to it. Listening to podcasts every day, being a continuous student, for sure. Using the products to me is the best way to learn about the products. Because again, it's not going to be the ingredients, it's going to be the emotional effect that you had on your body, and that experience is going to be far outweighing of knowing the ins and outs of the products. There's isagenixhealth.net for that. There's all those tools out there for that. So getting that confidence up and just your ability to just share, but just that connecting and cultivating relationships, network marketing. We are professional friend makers. We are in a franchise where we just help people get amazing nutrition. So those are all just incredible tips from everybody. And I'm just, you guys, there's still time for celebration, because that's the thing that you're going to want to do is your belief is going to go up in every single area. I'm telling you, people will sleep on floors, right? Like honestly, sleep in a bathtub if you had to get the celebration. Like it's worth it. There's tickets that are being sold right now. As far as that we can get on an Isogenics events, they do have to get transferred transferred, I believe, by tomorrow or by today. So by today transferred, or we'll have to do an email. So just like make that decision. Joe and Shanna, they made a decision that this is what they were going to do. A decision where you cut off any option of the other thing, because the decision has been made that this is what you're doing and this is where you're going. And if you're building an ice but events are a part of it, and it's the highest paid skill set. So icenews.events.com. Don't not be at Celebration. If you're serious, you know, where Melina said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about changing your life? Changing your life, right? For me, I know it was a 10, like with what I wanted to be able to do for my husband and I and my family, right? And so it's just about making that decision. So those were all such great shares. I will get the recording up. I will get Joe's training up, a link if anybody wants to do that. I'll also post Terry's scripts. So Terry did have a lot of great scripts that she gave us. So I'll post those and you guys can just make them your own. But definitely, guys, don't miss out on Joe's training. It really is awesome. So I just appreciate all the shares so much, all the tips that you gave us, everyone. And so many of us, and then next week, for sure, Alex and I confirmed like 20 times on our time zones. So you don't have to be great in math or time zones in order to build this business. Let me tell you that one. So for sure, Alex is going to be with us next week. So, all right, everybody have a great night. And all right, that's it. There's still time. There's still time to get those bonuses. 5 cycles. A lot of people are close. Go.
I just want to say real quick for those people, if you want celebration,
Okay, Jordan.
if you can't get the celebration, you absolutely want to make it for $50. You can watch it.
Yeah, watch it live. Let's still go.
If you want to grow this business, you can watch Tony Robbins present for $50.
Yeah. Wow. Impressive. So you can get that in your Thank you.